Welcome, everybody. This is Pepper's Kitchen episode 1 with Captain AYB. Very excited to bring it on for our first episode of very based OG. And yeah, without further ado, let's get it started.
Good. I've been a long time coming. I've been wanting to have this conversation. I've seen you all around the spaces these days.
Yeah, X spaces are heating up, especially for bass. That's what I like about it as well, because over a long amount of time, you can kind of see who's active. Sorry, let me fathom. You can see who's active and who's not, who's consistent over like 4 or 5 months. Now that I have been doing them for about 4 or 5, 6 months, I can now see who's still going there, what voices are still active. So I do love them, and you're always around doing the poker nights. So yeah, man, it's great to have you.
I know I kind of wanted you to clue me in, so it's going to be fun having this conversation. You know, we go way back. We started about 1.5 years ago, and we were super active then, and knowing who was around then. And we haven't been as active the past few months, but we're picking back up again. I know a lot of people when I started are falling off a little bit. Maybe some people took some breaks, some people came back. So I'm very curious to see who's really active these days. But I of course, it's you everywhere.
Yeah, I mean the chart is definitely doing. We're talking for your meme project, of course. The chart has been doing a lot nicer. It's on, the volume's gone up. When I saw it a few months ago, when I first met you, had like $100-$200 daily volume. I think it was like 190k. Now you're on 380, so it's a 2x, and you got 7k volume, and it was like you're kicking the gears back in. But yeah, let's give some context for the viewers. And tell them what your meme is all about, how you individually contribute to it, and yeah, what it is.
Yeah. So the background, the history of AYB. It's the first thing I thought of the meme when I heard about Base Chain. But if you guys, you generally can tell how old people are whether they know this meme or not. If you're under 30, you might not know this meme, but it's an old school meme, goes way back. It was before actually the term internet meme even existed. It was out in like chat rooms and forums and message boards on the internet. People brought it into the real world, so it had a cultural impact, made it into music, made it into like sporting events, trivia, game shows. It was in music, all kinds of stuff.
So you could say it's the longest living meme and really the first meme there ever was, no?
Yeah, it's kind of like the grandfather meme. It's like the first, it's like the iconic meme. It just came before the internet, so a lot of the kind of newer generation doesn't know as much about it. If they do, a lot of times it's from video games. I know I heard a lot in StarCraft back in the day, like all your base belong to us. So it's the first thing I thought of. We launched it, and a few months later, first time actually ever meeting Jesse, I heard from him himself while shaking his hand. He's like, your meme is in Base Block 0, right? And I was like,
how do you keep it cool in that moment, right?
I was like, wait a second. I totally forgot what I said. Actually, I think I might have tried to say, yeah, I think someone might have said that, or I have no idea what I said. But we looked it up and immediately saw that, yeah, it's written as a memo. So that's the only chain I know of that had that much foresight of memes to even write a meme into.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome because, a lot of the time when you see these big companies, you kind of just see them as automated corporations and this kind of stuff, right? It's kind of no personality thing. But when you look at Coinbase, look at Jesse, and like what you just said, like it's cool that they added that because they're just dudes that used to play these games, right? And that they've been around the block, and that's what I like about Coinbase as well. It feels more real, feels more connected.
I like that. It reminded me of Zuckerberg back in the day, Facebook. So I was actually going to college at the time when it was like exclusive Facebook. And I don't know if you know this, but the original Facebook had a bunch of quotes, like really nerdy gamer quotes at the bottom of a lot of the pages. So these little kind of like Easter eggs.
Yeah.
I like a lot of these kind of, I like these type like Facebook and these kind of big companies that actually have a little fun with it still.
Yeah, like they show the personality of the founder a little bit. But let's jump into, we've talked about the narrative of the project. It's obviously very, very strong considering it's the oldest meme there is basically and the longest standing meme. But let's jump into what the project, how I have a space, it's called Battle for the Sun. And it basically means, in nature, there are so many plants. And when they're close together, like we are right now, but friendly battling, like competition is healthy competition. They got a battle to see who gets the photosynthesis, who gets the sunlight, right? So what is AYB doing to attract new people, and what have you done in the past? How have you created the community you have right now? Just a bit of lore, behind the whole project.
Yeah, I like you do that, by the way. Kind of a little bit of our lore is we were part of that initial movement of, there's no competition. We're all very friendly. We're all here to work together. But we were actually one of the first doing these spaces, creating kind of that lore of let's work together. Let's all, rise together, which worked out, I think, really well for a lot of projects. I think Base as a whole, I think it's one thing that's got a lot of good founders and builders to come over is that mentality. But I have noticed that when you guys came over, that's the kind of shift in mentality that you bring is, hey, let's compete. Let's have some, at least healthy competition.
Yeah. It's like, when you're in the gym with your friend and he does 15 push-ups and you're next, you're going to do 16 no matter what, right? Because he's just done 15. If he'd have done 10, maybe you'd done 11, right? But that's the thing, you compete. And whenever I go on X, maybe it's Sunday and I'm being a bit lazy, I go on X and someone tweets, if you're being Sunday and lazy, if you're being lazy on a Sunday, you're not based. I'm like, well, shit, I need to get up now. Or I see someone post a massive update for their project. It's like, what am I doing on a Sunday, Yeah, it's a culture that I really like about this.
I like that. So with us, we've done many things over the past year and a half. We've had different, apps. We have the Hot Wheel races is kind of one of the big things we do in the past 6 months. So we're known for poker, Hot Wheel races, live streaming of these events, and you can actually, with our DApp, bet on the outcome of the Hot Wheel races. And we're going to be featured at Poker for On-Chain Summit, this live event next month. And we're going to allow the viewers to be live streamed. You can bet on who you think is going to win.
Wait, so are you going to be there with an actual track physically? Is that what you meant?
So I'm talking two things at once. We do the Hot Wheel races, yes. And we're going to see if we can get some kind of Hot Wheel races there. We might live stream it,
awesome.
At least live stream the event. But I'm also talking the poker as well. So we co-hosted poker last year. And we'll be again featured this year because I ended up winning the tournament last year, so I have the belt.
I was going to jump into that when we jump into On-Chain Summit. I was going to say, listen, I'm that type of guy. I've had some poker games installed on my phone a long time. That WSP poker. Okay. I don't like to get cocky, but just be ready for a little bit of competition.
Yeah, so you're going to be there then. You are going. You're flying all the way out.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't spoken to you about it. No, yeah, for sure. I live in sunny Spain, but I'm going to sunny San Francisco in August. Yeah, for sure, August 21st. Oh, I'm getting there Monday, so I can prepare and film some content, around it. And that's something that we're very excited about. But now that we're on the topic of On-Chain Summit, I wanted to ask you, what would you take from last year and put it into this year's? Because I wasn't at last year's. I've seen some videos and stuff, and it looks amazing. I saw the poker tournament. I'm very excited for what's coming this year. But what is one thing that you really liked about last year's events compared to all the other ones you've been to that you'd love to be there this year's?
Well, they made the major change already, but I'll think of something else on the fly. The major change was because poker was on the main night. The tournament went a while. So because I played through the whole thing, if I would have got second place, it would have sucked because I missed the whole event pretty much to play poker. And then, but luckily I won, so it was worth it. But it took away some of the projects that did the best and made the most out of the event were actually, they didn't play the tournament. So they hung out with, and then they had the base team and Jesse all to themselves. So they switched it up this time, so poker's on a night to itself.
That's good. Yeah, because also people will want to drink while they're playing, and it makes sense for the whole event for that to work with that. And are you attending the event just to see what's up, vibe with people, promote, or is there something special you have planned?
We'll definitely we'll be attending and, talking to all the projects. A lot of times it's collaborating, meeting the different founders, setting up different events that we can do together at spaces like this. We do have a few things, we've had NFTs to design for quite a while now, just waiting for kind of the right time in the market. We think around then is a good time. So we'll start probably releasing the designs. So we have a few things at On-Chain Summit. So we we've actually had designs for NFTs for quite a while. So there's a few things that we'll be talking about with everyone while we're there. I'm sure we'll do some kind of like whitelist or NFT teaser campaign while we're there. And we also have our betting DApp. So our gambling DApp will be featured. It's never been used like this before. So it'll be a new way to kind of demo.
So you've only been using that for your Discord, right? And what this is, as far as I'm concerned, is a dynamic betting DApp. So if there's the five, we can jump into how the Hot Wheels work in a sec, but if it's like 5 Hot Wheels racing, if everyone bets on the first 4, that means the fifth one's going to have crazy odds. That's the basic idea behind the DApp, right?
Yep, exactly. So we like proposition betting and PvP. So it'll be live and it gives you live stats, live odds, so you can see where is everyone starting to bet towards, so you can gauge your bet accordingly. But yeah, it's pretty simple. So we can add it to pretty much any live event. So that's what we're looking to kind of niche off towards is like Chili Pepper could run your own live event with whatever sport or event you're interested in. People can watch and bet on the outcome of that event. So that's one of our products that we've been working on. We have, working with Hot Wheels. Yeah. What do you watch? What do you guys do?
We should do. YouTube boxing got quite famous a few years ago. If we're trying to go viral, we should do base boxing. Get the strongest, people on base and do some UFC. I prefer UFC, to be honest. I'm more of a wrestler.
Well, we've talked about I've been talking about with the Roosters crew, the Aftermath Poker. I play poker every Friday with this other group, and one of the guys, he lives in Thailand. He does Muay Thai all the time, and it's a rowdy crew. But I think we've talked about influencer boxing and all that stuff. It is growing a lot in popularity. If you go at these events, I see Karate Combat all the time and IFC. Yeah, I don't know. I'm more of a striker. I'm not a wrestler, so I would want to do one of the boxing ones.
Oh,
but
okay. Well, do you have training?
I don't have any training. No. Just played sports back in the day, and I'm tall, lanky. A little garage boxing here and there back in high school.
Right, yeah. So basically, same as me. I mean, I've been trying to get into some sort of martial art just because of the discipline behind it, and I feel like you carry yourself. It's a man thing, but you carry yourself with a lot more confidence when you can fight. Like when you look at someone, when you meet a guy, one of the first instincts is could I technically beat this guy in a fight? And that kind of depends on not how you treat him, but the respect that you give him. Maybe you kiss his ass a little bit more than you should because he could knock you out in a night like a one hit, So I feel like boxing is something very important to learn, not just because of self-defense, but your confidence, discipline, and that's just something I definitely want to do.
I wanted to as well. Thailand's calling me. I want to go do some Muay Thai training.
Yeah, listen. How about I'll do like a monk mode for 8 months and then go Thailand, spend a month there. Yeah, for sure. I want to. Yeah, it's something about people that fight. You see them walking in the street and you already know that's a fighter, right? Because of the way they carry themselves. But yeah, I wanted to ask you. So, are you into UFC, for example? Because that's one of my favorite things to do on the weekend is watch the UFC.
I do like watching. I don't watch like all of them religiously. I watch maybe a couple a year, but I've been trying to watch a lot more. I should link you up with Goldfish. Do you know the Goldfish on Base project?
Yeah, I've seen them. I've seen them on X. I've not looked into them though.
Okay, you got to come out on a Friday night. You like poker? Oh, it's really late for you though. That's the only problem on Friday. So Saturday or Tuesdays, it's a little earlier. It's 6 p.m. on Tuesdays EST. So we play every Tuesday, Friday. Goldfish comes out often, and he's really good at poker too. But he also sets up a bunch of fantasy bots for Telegram, and he has UFC. So he has a UFC fantasy. So every fight, every Saturday, you can bet. You get a free bet, and then you can bet money if you want, and it goes into a pool. And you pick on all the win-losses, and if it's going to be a knockouts by decision or whatever for each one, and whoever wins gets the pool. So if you like UFC, it's a lot of fun. That's the one time I've been watching.
Yeah,
is when I bet on his stuff.
That sounds fun because you also, for me with sports, I feel like it's something you don't need to bet on loads to actually enjoy. Like if I'm watching sports with someone who doesn't want to watch it, I'll be like, bro, put on €2 or $2 into the app, and you'll watch it 3,000% more. Even if you're just going to win £1.50. Don't know why I keep on changing currencies. Even if you're going to win $1.50 or something like that, it makes you a little more into the thing. So when I bet on the UFC, I might do $5 on someone to get knocked out round four, and then it might pay like a 10x or something like that and make $50. But most of the time, it adds a little bit more entertainment to it.
Yep, and I don't even care about the money as much either. I'll do like bow down bets are the best ones, or like
Bow
jumping
down.
jacks. So bow down's like the ultimate. So we start with maybe jumping jacks or push ups. So loser's got to do 10 jumping jacks or
Yeah.
squats. But then if you want to get really crazy, you say, okay, loser's got to bow down to the winner. We would get really crazy with these. Back in the day, we would do even on call bow downs. So it's like whenever you ask, not right away. You owe them one, so you can be
Well,
out in public.
do you mean like bow, or do you mean like
On your knees? On your knees. The rule is like your knees have to be on the ground. And I have some stories about that. I got a girlfriend one time in a movie theater, in the very front of a movie theater. And then I realized it made me look way worse than it made her look. And it was
you thought you were trying to get her?
yeah. And so I was like, okay, we're gonna do it in front of the movie theater. Bow down, and like the movie theater's full. And she bows down to me in front of the movie theater, and I was like, okay, I feel really, really uncomfortable now.
She's just there on the knee. Yeah, no.
So those are the types of bets we would do, not monetary.
Yeah, no.
Just
I've
have some fun.
seen on Instagram, you Americans, you go a bit crazy on the fantasy football stuff, right? You do some mental bets. I've seen all sorts of them on Instagram. Like straight down the street naked is some of the extreme ones, but we just bet money, or as you said, you know what we do? We do red arse. I don't know if you play that in the US, but you do any like you bet. Let's say I give you three chances at red arse, and if you lose the bet, you got to like go against the wall, like, and then like put your bum out a little bit, and someone's got to go like 3 meters behind you, and they can kick a ball to your ass, basically.
Oh yes, okay. We call it butts up.
Butts up, okay. Red arse sounds more painful.
Way back years ago. Longer than 30, I'm getting older. Yeah, butts up, or we throw tennis balls at each other too.
Yeah, no. Well, you know what? I've got a lot of family up in more like country type people, and I was up there, and they were like, "Oh, do you want to play spike ball?" And I'm like, "I've heard of spike ball. I don't think you guys would be playing it." And I was like, "Yeah, for sure." We go down this hill, and they pull out these chestnuts. The really spiky, like not the chestnut nuts, the actual shell around them. They get these baseball bats, and they say it's basically tennis, but you've got to hit each other with these, and it's called spike ball. And I was like, no, fuck no, fuck no.
That's you have too much time and money and food on your hands. You start.
Well, no, those people is a lot of the time I'm so fortunate every day I get to have access to the internet, right? In the most basic sense, I mean that. But these people, they don't have internet in the town unless they go to this computer room, and a lot of the time I'm super jealous of them because I like to be disconnected. It gives me like brain fog if I'm on the phone too much, but at the same time I'm very fortunate to be where I am, so it's kind of a half thing. I think the same about like sometimes I wish I was born in the 60s or 70s where people were more concerned about how cool your job was, and how are your friends cool, that kind of stuff, whether as the vain stuff, whereas your money and your looks and that kind of stuff. But
I feel like you have a similar curse. You're pulled to both extremes.
Oh yeah.
You probably do both, right? And when's the last time like you've gone full monk? Like I've actually been a monk in Thailand. Like I've been full extreme. I went for a month ordained, and then
a month. What does that entail though? Like just like meditating 6 hours a day, or?
Yeah. So 2 weeks is a Naga training, and then you take do a recital and do the ceremony, become a monk for 2. Then I stay a monk for 2 weeks, and then about 4 meditations a day. About 30 minutes to an hour and a half. I think hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes is the longest meditation. And then intermittent fasting, essentially, because you only eat between 6 a.m. and 12 or at noon. And then chores and a lot of quiet. And like you don't have to not talk, but there's just not much to talk about. And you're just very, very quiet. And
cool, yeah. So I wanted to jump back, turn the conversation back to where it was before and speak a bit more about your crypto journey. This is a crypto podcast in the end of the day. So I've
Yeah.
seen somewhere that you entered the space a little over 10 years ago. So I want to know what pulled you in and what made you believe in it so much. Was it the decentralization? Was it the trustlessness? What was it that really attracted you to the space?
Yeah, all of that you mentioned. I was actually studying economics in college. So I'm 39 now. So I was back in like 2008. I was studying economics and math. So a lot of my friends would come ask me about, crypto. Like that's generally who else they're gonna ask? The guy that knows economics. Like, hey, have you heard about this crypto stuff or Bitcoin? Sorry, have you heard about Bitcoin? And
Yeah.
so it got my attention on it early on. I don't know, I wish, obviously, of course, I would have dove into it more earlier. But I was just going off of like whatever I'd heard about it. Essentially, at first, I hadn't really looked into the code or anything much. But I was like, you know what? It sounds like a pretty cool concept. But I was like, yeah, but it's so small. Like it's like we don't know. It just seems so risky.
It's a lot
That's
easier
kind of how I
to
felt at first.
believe in something when, because humans are very adaptable people and they kind of, replicate what they see. So a lot of people's confidence stem from other people's confidence, right? So if loads of people are confident in a product, they'll become confident in that. So it makes sense for the beginning, no matter how good of a coder you are, no matter how much you like the technology, for you to doubt it a little bit, right? Be like, okay, is this really going to catch on? Am I missing something? Am I not? And that's what actually was going to lead into my next question after you finish answering yours is, any point in the last 10 years since you really got into it, have you thought this might not work out, or the whole time you're like, it might take a little bit longer than I expected, but we'll get there?
No, yeah, I've always known it's going to work out.
Makes
Even
sense.
so, even at the beginning there, I still thought it would. Even so, the early days I hadn't really looked into it much, so I wouldn't say I was fully committed then. But then, yeah, I did end up start to. I forget. I bought Bitcoin around $300. So however long ago that was, I bought 3 Bitcoin for around $300 each. And then I looked into it, obviously, when I bought it, and I was like, oh wow, I totally drank the Kool-Aid at that point. And realize like, yeah, this isn't going anywhere, as long as I see other people coming in, just growing over time. And in math, I'm like big on these kind of like growth algorithms and everything.
Right.
It just looked like it was like Moore's law with computing and everything. It just was following this path. And yeah, I mean, obviously we kind of continued, and that's where we are today. But yeah, I've always believed it's going to be something that's not going anywhere. And now it's just a matter of how many more are going to be kind of replicated as well, because I saw it as filling kind of a void that we have in the money market. If we want to get deep into the economics, is we need more money because of interest. Money 3% growth rate ends up being exponential growth over time. So you need more money to pay. Yeah, so that's compounding, and that money has to come from somewhere. So you need things with value to come in and fill that. Which right now we have these different contracts. We do the derivatives markets and all that stuff, but we need more. And I think crypto could serve that purpose of like what derivatives and gambling markets and new assets of value creation could be. And I think we're going to need it fast as well.
Yeah.
Blockchain could potentially do that, and it's scalable. So to me, it fits a lot of things as well, and it also kind of just fits in with AI and Internet of Things and machines talking to each other in a trustless way that can be monitored on the blockchain. It's just so much to it. It's just a matter of
that's
time.
What I was going to mention, because most people, when you mention blockchain, and it makes sense because it's more exciting part, it's the only place you can get 100x's, people blockchain automatically connected to crypto. And yes, crypto is the biggest use case, a new financial revolution. But blockchain has so many other uses beside it. At the end of the day, it's simply a digital ledger that you don't need to trust anyone for it to verify that the information there is real. It's secure, right? And it's that simple. Digital ledger, so it can be used for the healthcare system. It could revolutionize that and make sure people's records are in different, insurance companies and healthcare. I mean, I've just
HIPAA compliant.
Yeah, no,
I've HIPAA compliant. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I've got problems in my knee, for example. I've been going to physios and like getting scans for a couple of years, and a lot of the time I need to show the doctor a scan, and I can't because it's my old insurance company has it. I need to go to that hospital and get it out. So if we have a blockchain healthcare system where I can have all the information there and I can look at what doctors have looked at it and I can give them permission to, then you own your records. You know, you're not trusting a third party with
You
it.
know what the big one I don't hear talked about enough recently is, well, I'm sure people are talking about, but the AI. It's one of the biggest issues of AI is being able to track how the AI thought about it, that black box kind of hallucinations and things. So you can do by doing computing on blockchain. There's also ways. I mean, I do think there's going to be a whole revolution in that side of things. That AI uses blockchain in order to do its processing, in order to be traceable, trackable, and held responsible. I think.
I didn't quite understand that concept. So what would the AI use the blockchain for?
So right now, so this is kind of brainstorming as well, but right now, someone's responsible, a coder is responsible for developing an AI. So if an AI goes haywire, the developer is responsible. So that's why they're trying to. It's very weird legally now because AI agents can maybe say some outlandish stuff on Twitter, and so far it's kind of gray zone. People are like, oh, ha ha ha, we'll let the developers get away with it. Maybe it's just the AI agent. I think that's where the area we're in. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
No one takes it seriously. Eventually, going to be there's going to need to be a separation of who's the developer and who's the agent. So right now, I think eventually, as agents get more agency, essentially agents suck. I think at the moment they don't actually do anything except talk and make up stuff to say. So you get in some trouble there. But eventually, they're going to be able to make trades. On the blockchain, they're going to be able to do a little bit more than they do now. And in order for these developers,
sorry to interrupt. We're like the stage of the first iPhone compared to the iPhone. I don't know which one's out right now, iPhone 18 or whatever, right? It's such old technology. Yes, the 19's Microsoft computer or something like that.
It's built for it yet. No, yeah, developers haven't had time to work on it yet, so there's nothing really developed on it. It just has a calculator and a camera. So yeah, it's very basic as of now.
Who knows? So I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist. Who knows what the CIA has, or any of these intelligence companies? I'm sure they've been developing AI since 70s, 80s, before anyone even knew what AI meant, right? So I don't know. It's definitely a possibility because it makes sense because with them understanding it could be the future of intelligence.
Energy consumption, they'd be able to trace that. Nah, I don't know. Because if they, in order to test it completely, you'd have to consume a lot of energy. Anyways, we're getting off on a tangent, which I'm sure we can do a lot of tangents there. We'll have to have definitely another one of these where we just do conspiracy theories. But let me finish this thought. Is that it's combined with blockchain. So now it gives them culpability. If the agent, they're not running it, and they can prove it. All of its thought process, all the processes are blockchain on chain. So now the agent is truly its own entity. Versus if they didn't put this stuff on the blockchain, it was still being processed through. They have the keys. They're running on their servers. It's technically them doing it, not the agent. So that's where I see this. Everything eventually is going to run on. Well, having to do with AI will probably run just for that legal standpoint.
Right. Nice. Well, I don't. I've always said this. I like to go on spaces, crypto stuff, and most of the time I'm purely learning. I'm more of the social media guy for Pepper and networking, and I like to do research. I'm a little bit autistic in that way, where if I have a question and I want to figure it out, I'll spend hours, going off every part of it just to get all the moving parts. That's why I'm writing the articles for the academy. But right now it's all very basic stuff that we're building for the Pepper Academy. But yeah, I love
fun space. Always moving, and we're all learning together like that. I mean, I'm just kind of brainstorming that. I mean, these are two new technologies. We're seeing how they come together. We don't know. I mean, that just kind of makes sense.
Exactly. We have no idea where blockchain is going to be in 20 years. We have no idea where AI is going to be in 20 years. So who knows where that mix, that synergy is going to be. It could be absolutely mental, right?
Yeah. But it's fun to be here and watching it and being a part of it too. So we are getting involved with some AI stuff as well. And we do have actually another app that we're looking at putting out because Base App is so hot right now. We should probably talk about Base App a little bit too.
Yeah, Jesse, send me an invite, sir. No, I'm joking. I think I've got an invite because I was in a group where there was a link, but I tried to sign in with my Farcaster account yesterday that I've not been signed into for a little while. Yeah, I apologize. I'm not active on Forecaster.
No, I'm the same way. I feel like everyone is like,
I,
we all sign up for our like not everyone's
yeah,
stuck with it.
I try to sign in with my seed phrase. I don't know what the issue is, and it asked me to create a new account. I'm like, I've already got an account, so I've sent a message to the recovery team. So I'll be on the base app in a couple of days. I'm just waiting because to start a
That's why
base
it's in
account,
beta.
you need to connect it.
Yeah, it's a little buggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's in beta still. But I'm sure because you're building some apps. I'd like to hear about. I know you're building so much, so catch me up on some of the stuff you're building, and I want to figure out if it'd be good on base app. I'm sure it would.
Yeah, well, regarding directly building, developing, I mean, in base batches a couple months ago, base batches 001, we participated. Unfortunately, we didn't win, but we did make this really awesome, pepper card game. In fact, I've got the actual cards that we used here, so I took these to Dubai Token 2049. So with these,
Oh, was that the real in person event? Did you go to that?
yeah,
It
yeah,
was like a couple weeks ago when they announced
no, it was
base app
no, I went to the
or a
Token
month ago.
2049 event. That was in Dubai in May.
Oh no, okay, that one.
But
Sorry, okay.
I don't know if you can see very well, but we've got all these
Nice.
cards. So yeah, there's a pepper card battling game. So basically, we developed a smart contract RNG. I'm not sure if you've seen, we've posted a few times about it, but it's a pure solidity RNG smart contract, which means you can generate numbers on base for a fraction of a cent, so a tenth of a cent, I think it is. Whereas usually on base, you'd have to go to an oracle like Chainlink, and it would cost you about $2.50 per number. So it was completely unsustainable for developers, like let's say game developers, to implement RNG into their games because of how ridiculously expensive it was. So we created this smart contract RNG. I'm not going to jump into all the details, but apparently it was thought to be impossible, and we launched it. So it's deployed now. Actually, we found an issue with it like a month ago. We did a review on it, and we deployed a new version with that patched. But we using that pure solidity RNG contract, we put that in the game that we're building. That we built on desktop. So basically, there's a randomizer. There's 9 cards of these. There's a randomizer. You get one of them. So you get 5 cards, and then there's a dice under each one of the cards. The first slot has 2 dice, which is 1 and 6, and then the rest are 2, 3, 4, 5. So then you roll the dice. So depending on the dice that you roll is the card that you pull out on the slot, and then this is all completely random. Getting the cards is random. Rolling the dice is completely random. That's what was more fun about it, is showcasing that RNG basically. And then they have power levels, so whoever has the high power level wins a point. And then once you run out of cards, you see who has the points. And yeah, we built that for base batches. We want to release a mobile version, but really what we're focused on majorly right now.
Do you go off the Scoville? Do you go off the Scoville level? Is that how? That I think that'd be cool. Like the hottest pepper beats the this not spicy pepper.
Yeah, thing is though, like the peppers are
Partner up
actually
with hot one.
the peppers.
That's how you make it
I
viral.
wanted to partner up. I was watching Hot Ones the other day, and I was like, "Oh my god, give me a year.
I mean,
I'm
I'm
gonna
all
get on
about
their
it. I should
podcast."
work for you. I should work with your guys' project because I'm all about spiciest food you can possibly eat. And then I also play cards. I play on Pocket, Magic the Gathering. I got a bunch of cards, and I'm always wanted to come up with some card game idea. So yeah, I'm definitely into the peppers for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of things building in the background. Something that we have building right now that is super long term is the Pepper Academy. So that's going to be one of the longest lasting. Right now, we're focusing more on media and building a brand, right? Because when I pitch, I need to practice because sometimes I jump forward and back. You jump from concept to concept, your mind sort of just jumbles it around. But Pepper, a lot of the stuff that we release, I feel like could individually, be copied. But what brings it all together is the actual Pepper brand, right? So, whether we launch a game and other people copy it, or we launch the academy, everything what makes it special is the brand and the mind share, right? Because there's no brand that's done this. There's hot sauce brands and stuff, but whenever I go to the shop or I'm eating lunch with my family and they say pass the pepper, I think of the company, right? There's chili peppers in loads of different just random logos. There's chili peppers in every shop. And yes, right now we're focused on mainly
Spicy.
building. Say again?
I just saw something like spicy's popular these days. All fast food restaurants, everything, everyone's adding spicy.
Yeah? Yeah, well, we like to say stay spicy,
Yeah.
right? That's our tagline. There's a lot of stuff, different stuff that we're building at Pepper that could be individually copied, but what really, ties it all down and makes us unique is the brand, right? The mind share that you create. All the slogans we can use. Like we're just about to, this is the first episode of Pepper's Kitchen, and we can constantly say, this is what the chefs are cooking. This is what the peppers are cooking, and there's loads of branding options we could do. We could sponsor restaurants. We could do. There's just so much, and also there's not only one pepper. You see the chili pepper up in the corner as the logo. You see a Miam chili pepper, but there's like I was surprised to know there's like hundreds of different peppers, right? In each country, there's a kind of a unique pepper. Like we just got a new one called cabia. I didn't know that was a thing, and it's an Indonesian pepper. And we've got black pepper, bell pepper, jalapeno pepper. So we've got all these different mascots with different personalities, and a lot of the stuff we do well, basically, I would say everything we do outside of the academy and the education side is purely promotional. The important part for us is the education because we know someone is on board the next billion people, right? And I believe that will be base. But once they're onboarded, someone needs to get them to stay, and that will be the Pepper Academy. Because as much as someone can see a Coinbase ad and click on the app and download it, they need a way to figure out what is this, like, yeah, send a transaction, what the hell, where does the transaction go? So that's what we start with the academy. We're working on turning it into a full blown Duolingo sort of Web3 learning experience. So you go into it, you choose your level. Let's say you start absolute beginner, and you start off with the most basic things. You learn about blockchain, and from the perspective of someone who's surrounded by normies and by other people as well. Because I'm also not going to be the only one writing these articles, but just to give you an example of the format, you can either read the articles and then, or you can choose to watch the video tutorials, which will obviously be me. Then you could do a quiz at the end of every module. Or no, you have to do a quiz. You have achievements as you go, and you kind of just move from point to point until you get to the end of it, and then you get a Pepper Academy, certificate that you passed the course. But it's really, really aimed at not pointing people towards trading, not pointing people towards developing directly. We're not pushing anyone into any specific branch. We're just giving the overarching necessary parts because I've not seen any other academy, any other YouTube channel where all things are put together. There are when I do research, I see a lot of individual articles that explain a lot of the stuff I do, and sometimes better. But what people need is a simple, one place for them to start. And by the time they're finished, they understand what blockchain technology is, they understand what crypto is and why people use it and how they use it. They'll understand how they can get involved and use wallets and et cetera, et cetera. And then they can know how to protect themselves and not get scammed. I think those are the most important things. And from there, they can decide whether they want to be a scroller, where they just buy some shitcoins every once in a while, a full-time trader. They can decide to be a developer. But the whole idea is that basic education, right? And as I said, it's not just going to be me writing this articles. So I've got a spreadsheet going right now with a bunch of different people, mostly from the base ecosystem, just because that's where I network. But I've got a guy for liquidity pools. I've got Dry Tortuga. He's going to be doing. He said he can do NFT smart contract articles, stuff like that. So I want to get some of the top minds, some of the people that specialize in fields. Because as I said, I'm still a student in this myself, which is I think why I'm so effective at writing these initial articles, because I know what people, when they're reading, what they're thinking, like, what the hell is this, right? Because at the start, there was only about a year and a half ago where I was going through that process.
I
But we're
was
going to
just
get
gonna say, like, partnering with people to help is a really good idea, and I actually think our product could maybe even fit in well. Partnering with I'm sure there's a lot of products that can kind of fit with this too, where you can kind of collaborate. We are so like you're doing the kind of like basic intro, which by the way, it's almost like same thing with us when we first started, and that was everyone. I think at the beginning, their initial because the frustration really was that there wasn't people on base. So it's like okay,
Yeah.
even the people you're bringing that you know in the real world, you're bringing in your project. You had to, like this painful experience of like teach them at a bridge. So after doing that,
Oh,
everyone's talking about okay, let's just make it a guide. And even we made a couple little guides on Medium a while back. But
uh,
yeah, I someone needs to do it. So I hope you do, and I congratulate you. I think Pepper's doing it is a really cool way and
thank you.
and you already have great videos. So I'm full support. I think everyone on base needs to kind of just team up and do it all together. I think everyone is just trying to do individually a little bit here, a little bit
Yeah.
there. So I think it's a really good concept to kind of put it all under one roof.
Yeah, I think it's very fun and something I'm very excited. As I said, I've got a nice list of people and with everyone contributing, it goes to that experience. And the reason I'm passionate about the academy, obviously I'm as passionate about Pepper, but my main focus is the academy. Pepper is, the token itself is a marketing vehicle for the company and for the academy, right? It doesn't, we don't pretend it has utility. It's a meme coin, right? Of course. But the reason I'll tell you first why I'm passionate about it. It's just my whole life I've always loved teaching people. There's something very satisfying about it for me. When I talk to someone and I explain something and then they understand it, it feels really good. Like I'm in school, I'm doing a math problem, someone doesn't know how to do it. I explain it to them and they're like, thank you. Listen, I'll thank you because I enjoyed explaining that. I don't know, it's just, my mum's a teacher, probably got it from she's a school teacher. I got it probably from her, and it's something I've just always had in me. I love educating. So I was going to be a teacher when I was younger, actually, but I ended up, being a DJ shitcoin trader in the end, switching over now to a bit more professional. What was I going to say?
What,
Yeah,
she
and
going
then
founder instead? I don't know, more professional.
yeah, well, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Just
So
kidding.
I started my journey being a trader. So this guy who owned a crypto company, small scale, he didn't know actually. He did all the promoting and stuff, but he didn't know anything about crypto. So I did all his sort of trading because I had just gotten started. So I had a MetaMask wallet. I was, buying this token, buying that, and the amount of times that I got, scammed. I'll say my story. I got super lucky. I thought I was a fucking genius, to be honest. The first few coins I bought, the first one was a coin called Kulo. It was on like, what, I think like 60, 70K when I bought it. No, maybe like 200, 300K. And it went to like 50 million. That was the first coin I ever bought. And then the next coin, literally the next coin, I'm sure you've heard about it, is Kendu. I got shilled that at 700K and it went to 280 million within a few months. But thing is, I could have made a lot more money because I had 2.5 billion Kendu in a wallet, which at the peak would have been worth about 700 something grand. And at the time that I got rugged, it was 10K. But basically, I clicked a link that I shouldn't have, and I got drained. Right. So I've been through these experiences. I've been in the trenches. I've been, a community mod. I've been a VC guy. I've been all sorts of stuff. Right. I've got a bit of shame about it because if you go look at my old Telegram or my old X account or something, you're going to see 100 shitcoins I've supported in the past just because I was in the trenches. There was at one point I was so like into it or so like I don't know involved with it. I was going on Dex Screener on Solana, and you know how you can look at new token pairs. So not new token pairs, new social updates. So you can see who's just updated their Dex Screener profile, and I'd see a token, and I'd be looking at them for so long, for like 2 weeks, I'd know instantly if it was a rug. I'd still buy it in case I could make money off the rug before it rugged. So I'd buy it, I'd get like a 2x. I wouldn't sell, I'd be like, it's going to get to a 3x, and then it'd rug, and then, it happens over and over again. But I've
That's
been.
remember that game. There's a game for that. You could just play that game, the multiplayer game.
Oh, what
There's
the one where you have three towers and you pick like you go up the ladder.
oh no, it wasn't playing. What was it called? It was like a rug game though, but it was always like and it'd go up
Oh,
exponentially, and then it
Crash,
would just
Crash.
crash. Yeah, yeah, crash game.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
essentially what I'm playing crash.
So my passion or my love for teaching people stuff mixed with the pain that I went through for 2 years. I wouldn't say pain because, I'm young, I've got a lot of opportunities, so it's not like I put in, all my life savings. I was quite fortunate when when I lost 10 grand, I still had, resources around me, which a lot of people maybe wouldn't have because they get too sucked into it. But that pain plus that passion for teaching is what makes me love the academy so much, and why I decided to build it. We had the idea of Pepper first, of the meme coin. Then a month into, like, we should build an academy, because I was thinking about, I've written some guides before. Basically, as well, while I was trading, I was that guy that, if your uncle was trying to set up crypto, you just call me and I'm like, yeah, download MetaMask, click these buttons, sending screen recordings, that kind of stuff. I did that about 100 times. I was like the crypto nerd around these people, because none of them knew about crypto. They all thought I was a genius, but really, I've got the average, crypto knowledge of the average founder, or you know,
That's what you
participant in the
realize in the
space.
normie, in the muggle world.
Oh, I'm a
In the muggle
genius in the
world, we're
model
like,
world.
yeah, we're geniuses, none of a rock stars. They don't really like us much. But
You know what? I
they don't know anything
realized
about
I
this.
realized the bull run was safe when I went to pay someone some money today, and they were like, "Oh, how are you doing? How's everything going?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm working in crypto." I hadn't seen them for a little while, for like a year and a half. I said, "Yeah, I'm working in crypto." They're like, "Oh, is that like, does that work?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, it works." I tried to explain a couple of things. I'm like, they're not going to understand it. And they're like, you know what, doesn't matter. I prefer real money anyways, and just got in their car. It wasn't like cheeky, but like at that moment, I'm like, right, the bull run is safe. The bull run is still coming. We're still good.
Yeah, people aren't asking you about crypto. We're still good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We've been a bit off tangent. Oh yeah, I was going to ask you. So I've explained kind of what pushes me to build what I want to build. I want to ask you, what's that thing that's always in your mind, no matter what you're building? It could be loads of different things. What's like the overarching goal in your brain, and what makes you want to build this, and what gets you out of bed in the morning?
I really want to build something that lasts, and I know base is going to be here for quite a long time. And yeah, I'm not one of those. There's a lot of people that come into this industry and they just want to just launch project after project, and I'll for sure like help with other projects and be a part of other launches. In fact, this week I'll be assisting another launch for other things, but AYB is always just going to be that thing that I want to start just continue adding to, like more of a legacy. Um, and for me, it's just I believe, because of the lore that it has, that it's something I'm willing to continue to put my time and energy to, thinking that, believing that this legacy will continue to live on.
So
So that's
you
what,
so you want to leave
for
a
me.
legacy and an impact on the space. You'd be like, I contributed that, and I'm happy about it, and it's still there, and I helped people make money, and I brought a good vibe, and I was a, people would like to call it a net plus in the space, right?
Yeah, there we go. I want to be a contributor, as well as a lot of it is, I think, what I found is these projects collaborating with the projects. So it is, as much as it's, like we said, friendly competition. It's a team game still behind the scenes. A lot of these projects, all the major ones that have taken off, they all worked with the other major ones that have taken off.
Yeah,
So
it
it's
makes no
just doing all that
sense.
stuff kind of behind.
It makes no sense for all the
Something
small
I
projects
enjoy.
to fight when all the big ones are collaborating, right?
Yeah, yeah. So just being a part of that process, and being I like being at the forefront too. So the cool thing about being in this kind of meme industry is everyone's striving that the newest thing, the newest shiny thing. So you're in this space where you see everything right when it's popular, right when it's hot, and it's, since you're closer to it, you're more likely to make some smart decisions with investments and stuff in the future. So for me, it's just I like being in this close to the action kind of space.
Yeah.
But I also want to build something that's lasting as well. So there is a kind of a playground for me with the meme, is what kind of products are going to stick. We're looking for community organization type products, like gambling, but gambling with your friends or your group, and creating events and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. So you're more like motivated for the whole social aspect of it as well, meeting great people, going to these events, and knowing that you organized a fun time for a bunch of people, and you create a good vibe, and not only had an impact on the space but on people's lives, because maybe that one guy's someone that joins your poker night on a Tuesday, maybe he's had a really bad day, he goes and joins it, and he's still kind of networking and talking to crypto people, and feels like he's fulfilling more of his job. But at the same time, he's taking his mind off things and enjoying their time, right? So yeah, it's interesting. It's really cool.
I think
I need to join some of your poker nights. I'll join Tuesday at 12 o'clock. But yeah, let the people know where they can join you and find you and that kind of stuff, so they can talk to you personally.
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to be hosting our games every Sunday. We have our block party every Sunday, 2 p.m. EST. We're either going to be doing poker or Hot Wheel races or both. And then I play with this other crew. They're actually working under the Slap name, so they're Slap on Base. They're actually doing. They're kind of another up and comer in the past month or so. You should definitely link up with them. They pumped over a little over $1 million market cap right now, and they have some really big collabs actually with fighters. If you like fighting, they just sponsored a Muay Thai fighter that's gonna be fighting the end of the month. So you should definitely link up with them. So I play poker. That's who we've been playing poker with on Tuesday. Tuesday 6 p.m. EST, Friday 8:30 p.m. EST.
Do you know where they can find that Discord?
Oh yeah, so then on our Discord, you can get it from just pop in our TG or off of our X. You can see our link tree to our Discord, X, and TG, all that stuff there.
Lovely.
All your base underscore AYB.
I was going to say, what was the name of that project you said working with fires? Because with Pepper's Kitchen, it's not going to be just a podcast, right? It's going to be, this is the Pepper's Kitchen podcast. But what it is, it's an umbrella term for all the entertainment stuff we do. So we're going to be doing 2 live streams a week. Tuesdays Builders Edition, Thursdays Creators Edition. That could flip. So those are going to be, Pepper's Kitchen live streams, where we just talk about certain topics with a couple different, maybe about 2-3 people, and talk about, something that's going on or just a general topic. But the idea is in the future to host Pepper's Kitchen UK, Pepper's Kitchen USA, Pepper's Kitchen India. So I have hosts from all these different countries around the world. So they're all, doing their own stuff. It's a bit like a franchise business model. So we're looking for, we've got connects into India, for example, to get a host there and for them to host live streams using the Pepper's Kitchen logo. So yeah, we really want to go global with it. And for example, in the future, sponsor, have our name, have the Pepper logo in the ring for a Muay Thai fight, that kind of stuff, right? So that's why I brought it up, really. So what was the project's name? Sorry.
Cool. You should definitely check them out. It's Slap.
Slap.
So I'm always over there with that group as well for poker. They host a lot of poker games, and then we link up with other poker communities. So Rooster, if you know him, he's on a lot of spaces. Yeah. He's the guy that manages all the stuff over there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no, he's a nutcase, but he's a good nutcase. He's a I don't know. Obviously, you're talking to him on Discord where he's calm, but his spaces, he puts on that personality.
No, he's still pretty wild in Discord too.
Yeah, does he laugh like he does in Discord as well?
If you make it to the end of the poker game, that's why it's important to be good and last to the very end. He calms down just a little bit, and you can talk to him.
Okay.
But it takes about, when there's too many personalities around, the Rooster's on. He's got to be the loudest cock in the room. But when it's down to only like 3 or 4 people in the room, then he gets a little quieter.
Yeah. No, I love jumping into his space because most spaces I go in, and I also love the chill spaces, oh, hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm building this. When I go into Rooster, it's like, okay, man, he's shouting, like, I've got to present now, he's passing the mic on, and he's it feels more like a game show than a chill show, do you know what I mean? But yeah, that's why I do like those shows quite a lot.
Yeah, it's good for the energy, for sure. So those are the things we have going on, but yeah, check our stuff out. We'll be On-Chain Summit, so you should see a lot of stuff coming out next month.
Yes, On-Chain Summit is coming, and it's spicing up, and Chili Pepper will be there, Captain will be there, and basically everyone, I don't know what, Captain's over there. I don't know why, everyone is going, basically. I've spoken to some people that are like, oh, I'm not sure. It's like everyone on base that I've spoken to is heading there. So it's going to be awesome, because I've seen you on my timeline, and also not only that, it's going to be a mass doxing event, because loads of projects that are going aren't doxed, but now they are going to be. So, there's some guys at Bober, which is a project I like. They're going to be going, I believe that's still true, and doxing themselves. So there's going to be loads of people doxing themselves, which I think is awesome. And considering it's a big event, it's going to be a very good month for base, because people are going to be rolling out their products and marketing campaigns and stuff like this event, right? So I feel like it's going to be a very exciting month, and I don't think people are really ready what they're going to see. Maybe the effect will come a little
We'll
bit
see.
after, but yeah.
Fingers crossed. One thing we learned last time is, and we did a good job, we didn't want to spend too much money because everyone else in the base is spending a bunch of money at the same time. So to each their own, but it's everyone's putting out all this stuff, so you kind of your stuff maybe wouldn't get seen at the same, or get as much impact. So trying to play exactly your cards right. So that's why we really focused on just like one event, which is the poker.
Yeah.
But I think you have a really good idea with. Oh.
No.
Or no.
Do you know what we'll do? We'll bleep it out. We'll be like, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, lovely. Well, listen, man, thanks for coming up. I'd love to do another episode with you sometime. We just hit the hour mark. It might be a little bit less because of the editing, but it's been a great time. Yeah, and I'd love to have you back on whenever is necessary.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, and looking forward to the poker. And actually, let me know when you want to come out.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you everyone for tuning into this episode. I hope this gave you a taste of what this podcast is going to be. We're not only going to jump into their stories in the space, but also out of their space, jumping into a little bit more of the founder's personality or creator's personality, and why they're building what they're building. A lot of the time we hear about what projects they're doing and what they're up to, but we don't find out why the people building them are actually building them, right? What's in their hearts, because their core mission of the company can be different to what motivates them to actually push that forward. So hope you enjoyed this this first episode, and stay spicy. See you another time.